Alright, folks, once again, it's your boy Jakari, Twisted Hammer Gaming, and I'm bringing to you uh, another version of the vampire deck. Vampire, zombie, zombie, come on, But, it does use a lot of the vampire cards. The extra deck is not very vampire based, it is relatively more modern. But the main deck has elements of, the new age version of vampires. Hence, the reason why you see Vampire Familiar sitting on the top. It does run some of the newer zombie stuff. Does run some of the stuff that you see in the most zombie decks. The one thing you will not see in here is any Jet Synchron, Aurora Dawn, none of that shit. I genuinely hate seeing that combo. Like, I've seen it in so many other decks. I refuse to actually play it in any of my decks. I can build a deck that runs it. I can build a deck that runs it quite well. But no, it ain't me. So we ain't going there. But let's get started. So, to start, 3 copies of Familiar. 2 Frau. Alright. 3 Retainer. 2 Scarlet Scourge. So, first 10 cards out the gate are all vampire cards. And we're off to a roll. Yeah, don't get used to that. That's actually it for all of the vampire cards in the main deck that are not spells and traps. And now into the rest of the Derp, zombie, general stat quo stuff. 3 Ash, 1 Doom King, 1 Glow Up Bulb, 1 Gozuki. Ash is in here because A, it's a zombie, B, it's a tuner, C, it's in just about every... It's probably one of the best hand traps in the game that isn't infinite impermanence. 1 Banshee, and then, the standard of the standard, 3 Solitaire, and 3 Unizombie. And then the card that nobody expects for me to drop on them, but when I drop it on them, they just look at it and then just go, huh? 1 Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. Which clearly means I'm going for the triple dart. That was it for the monsters. So 2 Call By, Monster Reborn, Pot of Avarice. Thanks to my boy Puma for the Pot of Avarices. Regaki. Triple Zombie one. Alright. Now that we got the generic spells and spells out the way. 2 Vampire's Desire. 2 Vampire Domain. And yes, the deck is kind of set up like the spells and traps are set up like that, where I put all the non-vampire based spells in the back, in the front, and then the regular generic ones that you see in the staple stuff in the front. So 2 Desire, where Desire literally either lets me either do a full swap Yep. Pick one with a different level. Blah blah blah. And it's either I pick one in the grave, pick one on the field, and then I with a different level and switch the level until the end of the turn, or we do a 1-for-1 switch out from the graveyard in the field, where I pick one in the grave, one vampire in the grave, and pick one on the field and swap them out. Special summon the one from the grave, send the other one to the send the one from the field to the grave, and then Domain gives you an extra normal summon of a vampire monster per turn for 500 life points. But if you do damage with said vampire, with another vampire on field, the vampire that did the damage, you gain that back as life points. So it's, you bleed yourself, but then you heal yourself. But then you bleed yourself and then you heal yourself, because even Retainer, actually all four of those all four of the vampires that I play all have that bleed effect on themselves, where you pay a certain amount of life points to do something else. But with Scarlet Scourge, you're allowed to, it gives you the effect of Goyo, where you special summon the monster that you destroyed from battle with it. So, alright, that was it for the spells. To the traps. Solemn Strike. Double strikes. A card that a lot of people don't like, but I happen to really love playing. Storm Dragon's Return. Me and Kelly have had a few conversations about Storm Dragon's Return. He happens to like the card too. One of my original recursion pieces, Double Transmigration Prophecy. I thought I was running a burial in here. Oh, that's right. Going back to the spell cards for a minute, there actually is 2 copies of Burial from a different dimension. They're in another one of they're in between 2 of my other decks right now. I just thought about that. And then the remaining of the vampire traps, 1 Awakening, 2 Domination. Domination is basically their Omni Negate, but if it negates a monster's effect, I gain hit monster's attack as life points. Awakening is another special summon. That's it for the main. You already saw the first card on the top of the extra deck. So, 1 Vendread Savior. 1 Draco Master of the Tenyi. Cerberus. Griffin. Phoenix. Unicorn. Double Link Kariba. Almirage, Unchained Abomination, Double Sucker, and then the last Link monster is Yuki Onna. I genuinely like Yuki Onna, because I can get the monsters needed to get Yuki Onna on field. It's not hard, because you can genuinely go through the general zombie bullshit in this deck. So, and it's not hard to link up into this by actually turn 1 if you don't break. Turn 2 on average. And then the 2 synchros that I'm running, Bills, which, kind of obvious. but you know. And then one Draco Berserker of the Tinny. He's literally just in here for the sensuous gratuitous violence. That's literally his basis. Alright folks, that was it. But I may do a combo tutorial. Y'all know I don't particularly like doing the combo tutorials, but y'all seem to really like when I did the Mayakashi one like a year or so back. So I tell you what I'm going to do is, if I do not do a combo tutorial video for vampires, when I do the updated version of Mayakashi, or I do the updated version, actually, when I do the quote-unquote pure Shiranui deck, which it's never really 100% pure, because Unizombie and Mizuki go in that deck very, very quickly, which, you know, no more pure. But they're still zombies, so I can still say zombie Shiranui, you know, and, you know, it still works. But, you know, if I say pure Shiranui, then, you know, it's a lie. Because the minute you see Unizombie or Mizuki, the deck, pure ain't the word to describe what it is anymore. But for this deck, much like the, much like another deck that you're going to see, and before I continue, sorry for not having the music. I've been wanting to get these out for a while, so I didn't get a chance to set up the music. You're probably going to hear that again in another deck profile. It is 100% true. I was actually trying to get it set up, but things were not working out the way I wanted it to. You know, best laid plans, it's also like 6 something in the morning. Can't really play music as loud as I want in order for you guys to hear it and it to drown out certain things blowing in the background. But with this deck, I built this deck when it first came out, when it wasn't centered around pay to life to do things, when it was bleed effect, bleed effect, bleed effect, go rank 5 and go rank 5 for spam. And I mean, I can incorporate and do both in this deck if I really want to, and make a pure vampire deck. The reason why I say that is, you know, Unizombie and Solitaire are going to be in that deck too if I do it. There's not a zombie deck that doesn't play Unizombie and Solitaire, because even Vendreads run Unizombie and Solitaire. Why? Because it's the most common 1-2 punch in zombie decks, except for pure Eldritch, because the only monster in the deck is Eldritch. That's if you don't run the rest of the zombies in there. But if you just run that one pure, that one just goes straight. It's just, your only monster is Eldritch, unless you decide to want to throw hand traps. Then I call it hand trap Eldritch. But folks, let me know what you think. I took a lot of time out to rebuild that deck, because I had some of the cards, but I was missing a good chunk of what was needed to finish it. So, I mean, dropped a little cash, went back out and bought the rest of the cards again, rebuilt it a little bit better, because it actually runs a lot more smoothly now. I can't believe I took the damn burials out, because that 1-2 punch with Retainer and Familiar actually kind of works. But again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell for all notifications. This has been your boy Jakari, Twisted Hammer Gaming, signing off.